Hello, welcome to Kitty Pal today. Today is our little social class with Shia. I hope y'all enjoying our new channel. I know I'm kind of perfecting things better. So she's eating her lunch as usual. Her chicken nuggets, barbecue sauce. I added some mashed potatoes today. So Wednesdays we cook dinner or lunch for her, and her father brings it. And Fridays I do her favorite or something out for her, so that way she gets a cooked meal each week from us, and then also she gets something she like out. She doesn't really like so much things. The only thing I found her to like was, like I said, some things for certain places, but she just really mainly like home meal cooked foods, or like if you do get her something out, something like, I guess children always like chicken nuggets, macaroni, mashed potatoes, fries, little small things, even though I know it's not as healthy, but she likes salad. To believe it or not, she does eat salad. She likes that too. So that's something I'm going to add on the list. Or when I do get salad, I may let her have some. It just depends on her mood, how she feels. So, yeah. Glad to see her eating and enjoying her meal. I did just clean out her nose a little bit. It wasn't as bad as last time, but it is. I did previous speak to her foster parents about, maybe setting up a hair appointment. If they need help paying for it or something like that, let me know. Or I'm going to be finding her some supplies for both our hairs online or something. And maybe put something in her bag for her that she can start her hair treatment at home or something like that. But I don't just, when I'm doing home or staying home with children, I'm not just educating. I'm also, like I said, as far as caregiving provides a long list of things that you do and you care for the individual in. And it's not just making sure they breathe every day and they're alive and got clothes on. You actually have to be liking what you do as if they want to call it stay-home mom. I never called it a stay-home mom. I called it caregiving. And let me see if I can find some chalk right quick. Hold on one second. Alright, so I did find a piece of chalk. So, hello. Thank y'all for wishing her happy birthday. When she had her first birthday in Wyoming, we did something for her, and it was lovely. Also, I understand, also we'll go over some tips for dads if y'all are caregiving with the children at home and stuff like that. One thing about my husband, when he did care for our firstborn daughter, while I worked at least like a month or two, for the women just kept on trying to make me be at home with her, I could say, like, he did great. The only thing was he was so scared of changing her pamper. I don't know if it's because, like I said, women have become accused men so much. It's like they terrified to even take care of their children or be along with their children at this point. Because, yes, some things do happen. Men and women can be perverted. Look around. Both can do things, molest children, do things that's not acceptable in caregiving. Don't get me wrong. But that doesn't make nobody a defense for anybody to say the regular structure and order of life that was given is not is good and not effective, or like God made a mistake. No, we still have a purpose as man and woman. Life still has to go on. And there is righteous parents and there is good parents. So you can't use that as an excuse. A few or many men and women that went among us in the world that done that to try to say that everybody, man and woman, is doing it. That's just not a good defense. You're lacking discernment. And I can't tell them enough but to get discernment and stop making excuses to why their behavior toward certain people and why the children keep being in bondage or ending up in bondage because of women not choosing correctly and men. It's not just one or the other. So we must get this back in balance and understand and get the righteous parents back in position and in authority to raise these children in Gen, especially my Gen Alpha. Ain't that right? So I am advocating for the children of my future daughters as they're going to grow and develop in their generation. So the war is already won. I may lost some children along in some battles, but the war was already pitted for me to overcome and win that battle. The last one. Because I did go through a lot. that green one this time. So pretty much I just want to explain a little bit of how my system worked in a sense. Yeah, I like that one. Green. Yeah, you had the kit last time. You can take this one with you this time. I got one for you at home. Yeah, I like these. These are some really good. We're coming with the Happy Meals. I think it's awesome. It's awesome, ain't it? Yes. So, hello everyone. Hello Earth. So, to my caregivers. So, I really called it caregiving assistance. So, CA, you want to call it. So, that's your assistance caregivers. Okay, it is a flexible role, but it is a woman's role. It is assigned to, but it is a flexible position. So with that being said, my husband was so terrified, y'all. Like when he first had to watch his firstborn daughter, because again, she is his first child, and she happened to be a daughter. So he was so terrified at first, but like I used to come home and her diaper used to be soaked and stuff, and he'd be like, "Oh, I just was scared to like change her," and I was like, "Are you serious?" But I also worked right down the road from my home, from the military base, so in Alabama. So I was like, I didn't think about it at the time. It's like, but the gates were so secure, so it's like I couldn't walk out at any time to change her or help him with it. But I had eventually started having to wait like during it, and that was the war. That was the war. I kept on having to. Also, I don't want to be homeless with the children, but I also know I need to be there to emotionally support the children, because I know he couldn't do certain things, and certain things of his fears he was worried about. But he did know how to make the bottom. He did know how to clean up and cook for him, stuff like that. So he know how to do that. It's just, as a man, he doesn't feel comfortable with little girls staying with him at home. Now, with sons, it may be a lot different. Males may be prone to do that, and it makes more sense. But at the same time, I'm not saying no gender can be exposed to, those things that's traumatizing in our childhood that we grow up and remember that people have done when we've been left unsafe or something like that with homes. So all I'm trying to tell y'all is that I understood it, so I ended up having to quit my job. Luckily, I still had always an income, whether I had worked or not, so I was kind of still able to maneuver those things and pay my bills as I find out and trying to figure out the structure again and how we were going to get it back in balance. Also, a lot of jobs he couldn't get that I could get because I didn't have no criminal record, so there are certain things that I was able to make a little bit better, and I feel like they intentionally did that to their culture, their black culture. So there's a lot of things that my dark husband deal with that I don't have to deal with because we are in two different covenants in a way. So your family do determine certain things of how your outlook. If you're coming from a generation curse of poverty or dysfunction or single mothers, and if I'm coming from nothing but married women or harlots or, being with fathers, you see what I'm saying? It's a curse of the absent father, is in our case as daughters, and it's a curse of a single motherhood. Yes, I do be widow. Yes, I become widow too within all of that. But the main war in the end is the absent father's curse and the single mothers. It keeps going back to those two demographics. For some reason, they keep showing up and getting the kids in bondage. So, which again, mainly most men die, and when they die, a woman becomes a widow, and guess what? The cycle continues, right? We have no fathers, and then we have to live with a mother that have to grieve that and go on and find somewhere. So she just is about in the same situation as a single mother, but just with the less financial maybe assets, because you can get certain things when you're a widow than you can as a single mother, for as beneficial off that husband that you had. With a single mother would never be classified to be able to get those things with her children. So that's why I keep saying my wisdom gonna prevail anyway. Y'all might as well just stay married and let judgment come wipe the men out, than to just make yourself single mothers on purpose or walk out y'all marriages. It's just not going to benefit y'all to walk out y'all marriages. At the end of the day, I understand men do things, domestic violence, cheating, all that, but at the end of the day, you still have to weigh the cost as a woman, because you can't control his emotions or what he want to do, but what you can do is control your mind and how you're going to handle it, and let God in due time remove that person from your life. And trust me, I've seen God power work many times in my life where they have been removed by their own ignorance and free will, and I was free to go on and be with somebody else. So no, I never just intentionally, I don't care what he do, just walk out of it and divorce. It doesn't make, divorce is not a solution. It's not, just like adoption is not a solution to all of these things. So we have to, first we have to get it in order and realize we're dealing with curses and what's going on and what's affecting us, in order for us to stop it from keep happening. And everybody in position in the world needs to get empowered to do these things. And then that's when life can become heaven again on earth, and we can stop the war and things can stop happening to the children. When everybody starts to really wake up and realize the conscience of their decisions and choices, and realize y'all have really souls that y'all are accountable for it. That y'all going to really have to pay and answer to why. When they go back to the spiritual world, there's going to have to be a judgment, and they're going to be answering why. Some people was not even supposed to cross over before they did. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to just still be in earth. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the ones that don't need to be living long, that have not been infected, still been the earth, that should have been gone. So it's just been a constant thing like that. So what we're going to do now is just tell the truth and get the things back in order. And like I said, I appreciate him, so I ended up going back home anyway. And then I ended up finding another job with the kids at the school, which I loved it before COVID happened. And I told you to shut down. That's when we had finally both got a job working together. Then we also had our little income with our son, so we were starting developing.